The suspension currently stands at 6 games. We've heard Watson would accept 8 games and a $5 million fine. The league said that it wanted 12 games and a substantial fine. What's your gut feeling about the amount of games this ends up at and potentially the fine if they're going to, in fact, come to a settlement?
I hate to be so cynical, but I think Deshaun Watson probably cares more about the monetary aspect of it because no matter how many games he's suspended for in the 2022 regular season, he's not going to take a significant salary hit because of the way his contract was structured. So I think he'd be willing to sacrifice more games in order to keep more salary. I'm sorry to say that, Cleveland fans. So I think he'd be willing to accept 10 to 12 games in order to take a lower fine hit on his salary. But no matter how you slice it, whether it's 10 games or 12 games, that essentially tanks the regular season for the Cleveland Browns. But if you agree to 10 games, there's still a chance to salvage the regular season. If your backup quarterback comes into play and is able to go 500 at 10 games, you still have enough season left to make some hay of it. But once you go to 12 games, I mean, just wave the season goodbye. So I think the sweet spot for Deshaun Watson is 10 games. And I think the National Football League can sell that to sponsors, the media, and the public because it will be the most significant suspension in the history of the personal conduct policy. I think one other time there was as much as a 10-game suspension. Other than that, the commonly imposed discipline for violent offenses under the personal conduct policy is 6 games. That's been almost the default position of the National Football League. There have been 3 other cases, 2 for 8 games, 1 for 10 games. So I think if the NFL goes to the highest level of suspension it has ever had, I think that can be sold to the public. Anything under 10 games, they're going to be facing a barrage of criticism from women's rights groups, from the public, from the media. It can't be 8 games. It's got to be either 10 or 12. And I'm thinking 10 is the sweet spot with a significant monetary fine accompanying it. But I think Watson would trade games for money.
He's got a lot of money. $230 million guaranteed. But yeah, I understand what you're saying with that. Browns fans want him to trade money for games because they want that games to be down, like you mentioned, in the 8 to 10 range.